What's up, chat? How's it going? It's Tuesday. We're getting tactical once again. Well, I forgot to announce that my stream was live. It's been busy this morning today, chat. I had a technical problem with the Best Armies in 40k video last night about 1 a.m. that kind of delayed things, and I ended up passing out halfway through editing it, so it was a little later than normal today, which unfortunately is not doing so hot, which is unfortunate. It's not good. But let's talk about some data slate stuff. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome in to the stream. It's Tuesday. It's a Monday. Oh, I said it was Tactical Tuesday. It's not. It's Monday. Fuck me. Jesus. It is. I even said it's Tactical Tuesday in the thing. Dude, I am a mess today. I'm having a really tough time. Holy shit. It's also the wrong... Wait a minute. What are we doing right now? Oh, the title didn't change. That's why. Jesus Christ. I just shut down the stream. Fuck, I can't. I apparently can't stream today. Oh my god. Oh man, I'm sorry, chat. I'm a fucking mess, and that's what 3 hours of sleep will do to you, I guess. Jesus Christ. Anyway, chat. Let's talk about new update stuff. That's what's going on. So I've got over here. I've got the event listings for the events that use the new update. What we're going to be doing today, as we do many times in the show. Now it's not showing up. Okay. Sorry. Now it is. Okay. I don't know, man. Jesus Christ. should we just like call it? This is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done in my life. Oh my god. Yeah, so what I've got is the events that use the new update. We had 6 GTs over the weekend to use the new March 2025 data slate. We got a bunch of especially X1 lists that I think it's interesting to discuss. Chaos Daemons obviously looking incredibly strong. We saw a couple of successes from Adepticon Custodes, I believe. Also randomly Space Wolves. I don't know where Space Wolves came from, but they were like just kind of blowing things up, which was wild. And I believe we had a quick appearance from a Lions of the Emperor, but now I can't remember where it did end up going. But I want to dive into those. If we want to as well, we can talk about smaller events, or the small table events, especially when the metagame is kind of fresh like this. It's interesting to talk about the little 3-rounders, because that's oftentimes where a lot of like innovations coming out, and a lot of the weirder the builds out of each of these keep sort of popping up. New meta is Orc-tastic. RTT in 2 weeks with 11 Orc players. Yeah, Daka. More Daka is certainly something. We played it on stream yesterday. I did end up winning, but I think I got a little lucky, and I don't know if the build I was playing against was particularly optimized. And that detachment's insane. I had a Luda unit with no buffs kill an entire Storm Speeder in one shot, which I was like, I was like doing the numbers in my head, and I was like, I think I'm okay here. If they move, they don't get posted to hit, but I won't have cover. This is like close to a wash, I guess. So I moved, and then handed to me like 17 saves. I was like, oh, okay, no, just kidding, I die, I guess. Fucking wild, dude. It's crazy. It's so strong. Yeah. Keep the F tier in F tier. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the there's definitely some problems, I think, in terms of internal or balance, especially sort of internally with particular factions. Different Space Marine chapters are having some troubles, and I don't know what the solution there is. It kind of seems to me, especially like the chapters that are going to be getting a new update sort of shortly, right? They're getting a supplement update in not too long. It seems to me like Games Workshop's kind of just cut them loose. And the implication is like, and this does happen occasionally where Games Workshop will just stop caring about a particular Space Marine chapter. And I think that honestly, it's just too difficult for them to be bothered with keeping the balance for every Space Marine chapter up to date, because it's too much content. And, you know, whether or not you that's a problem with the design of Space Marines in general. You know, I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't make 8 separate factions out of a single faction. Maybe that's the problem. But it does seem like the way forward for Space Marines is probably Ultramarines, but also Death Watch seem to be doing fairly well with this new update as well too. Death Watch definitely looking pretty spicy. They lost a couple points on their Death Watch Terminator units, but I wouldn't be shocked if 3 months down the road we see a bit of a hit to Indomitor kill teams, because they're going to be pretty widely played, I think. GW has moved to, does Marines have representation? If it's yes, they leave it and only nerf the top. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they basically are okay as long as Space Marines have at least one chapter doing well. And, you know, it all comes back to like the age-old question of how you consider Space Marines, whether you consider them to be a holistic faction in and of themselves, or whether you consider them to be a bunch of separate factions like stapled together. You know, as the game perceives them, right, within the mechanics of 40k, Space Marines are a single faction, right? It doesn't matter which chapter you play. It's you're playing the Adeptus Astartes faction, and that's how it is, right? The mechanics of 40k don't care whether or not it's a Black Templar's army or a Salamander's army or whatever. Obviously, you care, and everyone else cares, but the game doesn't care. And I think that's just sort of how the designers have chosen to implement it. And this is a discussion that we've had many times in the past. I think of the opinion, obviously, for the sake of balance and army diversity, I would much prefer to see a variety of Space Marine chapters be effective. I do think that I am okay with Space Marines being relegated to a one party faction if it means that they're still competitively viable. And I know it probably wrinkles some feathers, but you know. I do think that I would rather see any Space Marine chapter do well than no Space Marine chapters do well, if that makes sense, right? Votann are headhunting orcs at the moment. Is that matchup good for Votann? I guess I can believe it. I could see that potentially. In playtesting, orcs don't like the Khorne demons in their detachment or in the new demon one. In the new Shadow Legion? Yeah, that one seems sort of tough for me, though. I would be surprised if it turned out that orcs weren't in some way advantaged in the Daka versus demon matchup, because the Daka weapons are like perfectly statted, especially like Ludas. And flash kits are like perfectly statted to deal with demon defensive profiles. They use a lot of transports, which demons have literally no answer to. Especially if you're playing Shadow Legion, you have to like play Havocs and hope that the Havocs kill the trucks. Like hopefully 2 Havocs can break a truck, but it's really awkward because they could just miss a bunch of times, and then you suck because you have very little dice fixing in Chaos Daemons. And then orcs will just come back and snap demons in half in melee, especially with full wound rerolls. If they're bringing like orc boys with full wound rerolls will kick the shit out of a greater demon. So yeah, I don't know. That one feels like it would be tough for demons, but I haven't played it out yet, so maybe I'm super duper wrong. How did John Lennon get 5-0 with Centurion Assault Squad on his list? I talked about it yesterday. Chance? I talked about it yesterday. You can put them in a Storm Raven gunship, and you can make them really fast. And they run out and they punch somebody, and then you can react to move them, hide them on the crackback. It's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat army. I think that list is cool. Yeah, also because it's John Lennon. Yeah, that's fair. Where were I when 54 Nurglings infiltrated my board? We played against... How many did we play against the other day? 42? We played against... Oh, it must have been, maybe it was only 39. Oh, it was 500 points on the old scoring. So it was like 3 9s and 2 6s or something. Yeah. We played against a lot the other day with Norn Emissaries. Triple Norn Emissary, Crusher Stampede. And they almost got us with some funny dice, but the Norns just like sort of won out. Ate the charge from all the Death Guard melee and just didn't die and then killed everything, which was sweet. Turns out also when you're -1 to hit on everything, being +1 to hit from Crusher Stampede is really good. So that was pretty sweet. Yeah, that game was wild. Absolutely wild game. I don't know if I could do it with the 54 Nurglings providing an additional -1 to hit against monsters. We'll see, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know, chats. I guess they probably wouldn't have quite as many in there. All right, folks. Should we talk about some factions, chat? What should we talk about today? What should we start with? Any particular armies that we want to start by angling out? That we want to take a peek at first. There are, let's see, let's just looking down the X and ones. There is an X1 at Iberian Open, Adeptus Sororitas, chat. There is also, there's a bunch of orcs, some Dark Angels, as I mentioned before, a random shit ton of Space Wolves, which I'm so interested to dig in on. But we have to talk about like all the Space Wolf lists because there's a lot of them. Obviously, like Chaos Daemons, a lot of Eldar still at X and 1, which is nice to see. In fact, quite a bit of Eldari at X and 1. Has anyone even touched the Grotmus Votann detach? We watched it on stream actually at one point at the 8TC against Legion of Excess, and unfortunately, it got body blocked in by Legion of Excess. The problem that like I hear are they're probably too good outside of Oathband, excuse me, they're probably too good to be cheaper inside of Oathband, but they're also probably too good in Hearthband to be significantly cheaper. Like, however, whichever way that makes sense. They're too, if you make them super cheap, they're too good in Oathband to make Hearthband good, I think is what I'm trying to say. Because they just don't have enough bodies on the table is what it feels like. So it just got body blocked out. They couldn't like deep strike until bottom of 3, and they didn't do anything. Basically, they were too slow to get to objectives by the end of the game. It was like kind of sad. They killed basically an entire Legion of Excess army in 1 turn, or in 2 turns or something. But it didn't matter at that point. They just had no board presence whatsoever. And I think that's the problem with the detachment, which is unfortunate. It's just not good as Oathband. It's just okay, but not mad at it. Yeah, the damage is actually there, right? Like the extra attacks and the extra AP and stuff from all of the Hearthguard weapons, but the problem is delivery, in my opinion. Is Hearthband the worst detachment in the entire game? That can't be right. What is the worst detachment now? At least Champions of Fenris, I think, got enough of a buff that it might not be literally the worst detachment in the game. I'm sure it's something like... What else is like really, really bad? Like Anvil Siege Force, maybe? Although people have been saying that they've been making progress with those. Oh, the Agent Assassin detachment. Yeah, that might be it. Instead of getting upside for playing their assassins, all their strats get downside unless you use them on assassins. That one's like so wild for sure. The Grotmus Thousand Suns one. That one like does things. It's not good things, but it does like you get like melee, like a melee demon prince and stuff. Like it's kind of cute, right? The Night Lords one sucks. Oh, you mean the Raptor detachment? Oh yeah, that one's really bad. Yeah, that one that one might be in the contention too. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. We'll go through the worst detachments in 40k. Yeah. Incredible. All right. Nobody asked for any particular factions. Oh, Imperial Agents. We'll see Imperial Agents. No, I don't think there's any X1 Imperial Agents this weekend, chat. We're only looking at 6 events to start with here. The Black Templar Christmas detachment. Yeah, that one's not that great for sure. Dark Angels detachments are quite bad. I don't know. Dark Angels detachments are I don't think are bad. It's just that Gladius Task Force is so good. Like, why would you ever play them, right? I would play most of the Dark Angels detachments if they were in a different faction. Did you hear? I'm running Breachstorm at Adepticon. We are running Breachstorm at Adepticon. We kind of fumbled and didn't get like events on the schedule, but we will be running. Our booth will have a gaming space in it. We have a 10x10 booth, and we really only use about half of it. So we're going to have a table set up, and we are going to be running cooperative games on it. So the answer is yes. We are running Breachstorm events at Adepticon. So if you're at Adepticon, come say hi to me. We'll be there. And get a demo of Breachstorm, and please buy a lot of it because I have so much. All right, a couple of people asking about Tyranids. Let's see if we can find some Tyranids here, chat. There is a bunch of 3 and 2. It does take a particular temperament to play Tyranids correctly, and I think with their losing probably 20 to 30 points out of their armies does not help them in any way. We can talk about a 3 and 2 from Old Guard Games GT. Will Diaz went 3-2 with Tyranids. It's a Vanguard onslaught, so we're not necessarily. Oh, we're running Trigons. So we have the new and improved Trigon points level. Is that what they're at? 150 now. Unfortunate that they lost their capacity to rapid ingress effectively last year. They used to have the 6-inch rapid or the 3-inch rapid ingress, which was like fucking wild. This says 150, but they are 140. I wonder if we paid up. Are we just playing old points of this? This event did use new points. At least I talked about Nemo the Fish's list on Best Armies in 40k, and this list used new points because it had 70-point Scion units. So I can't quite tell what happened with this Tyranid list. That is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. So this list might be outdated, maybe? I don't know. Nothing else went up, right, in this army? I don't think so. But anyway, so Death Leaper, Swarm Lord, Double Brood Lord. It's for 2 units of 10 Gene Stealers to hang out with them. One of them has Nero Node, so it's the redeployment. So we can infiltrate our lictors and stuff, then pull them back, or run Ryan's Leapers actually more effectively. We can play them really aggressively to block out any other deep strikers, and then hop them back into ruins and stuff to keep them safe. And then they're tough to charge as well, so because they'll fight first, which is pretty sweet. We have a Ripper Swarm, two Biovores. Jesus. Only one Biovore can generate a Spore mat at a time, right? That's the current rule. So we just have 2 like actual. I guess it's for mortars. If mortars kill them. Wild. That's so interesting. Sometimes you can also strategic reserve them, and like they can play kind of like funny out of strategic reserve because you can get weird angles with Spore Mines into weird places. You get engaged, and like a single Biovore can score 2 separate table corners. But that is a shocking inclusion. And then double Trigons as well. This list is weird. It has a lot of the standard sort of Vanguard onslaught stuff, but it is double Trigon, double Biovores, like throwing me for a loop here. Dumpster Fire GT. I don't believe Dumpster Fire GT used the update, right? If it did, then I missed it. Can we find an updated unit? No, they don't exist. This is an Eversor Assassinate. This is a wild list. I'm not sure. They did not. Okay, yeah. So that's not what we're talking about today, chat. We're looking at new meta stuff only. No old meta. Get out of here. It's bad. It's bad and gone. I guess the other thing that we can do is we can take a peek at other games. I guess we could do a list search for Tyranids this past weekend. and see if we can anything comes up. The BCP army like list searcher is kind of borked, so I wouldn't actually put a lot of stock in it. To see if we have any smaller events that used it. Looking for like 3-0s. Masters of the Universe. This was old points. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a tough one. Tyranid's not a great weekend, unfortunately. Turns out when you take a highly mediocre faction and you nerf it, it has trouble. Yeah, these are all old points values. Womp womp chat. So we have some 3-2s. Oh, here's new. Here we go. 3-0 with the new one. Troy Kaggle from Battle Shocked RTT running a invasion fleet with double Broodlords. Okay. Adaptive biology on a Hive Tyrant, so he has to feel no pain. 2 Broodlord units. They get the reroll once to, if they're inside the units, which they are, they get the reroll once to hit, obviously. So they're hitting on 2s with probably sustains, which is it's pretty nice, especially if you go critical 5s. Like 4 attacks base on each of those guys, and they're pretty high value attacks too. They're strength 5 when the Broodlord's in the unit, because they get +1 strength from Synapse automatically, regardless of range. Does make them actually hit pretty hard. The problem is you got to get there without advance and charge, which gets a little awkward. But double Broodlord, no Neuro Tyrant. 2 units of Gargoyles, 1 Biomphore for scoring, double Exocrine, Maleceptor, Neurolictor. I like that the Neurolictors are coming back down in points. Tyranids might look like a different faction if they come back down to their originally printed points value. 2 units of 6 Von Ryan's Leapers. Holy shit! Wait, what? Is this list just like wave assaulting you? Oh my god. This is wild. So we have 12 3 wounds like heavy infantry that infiltrate in front of you, and then they can body block off spots for 22 Gene Stealers to run up behind them, and basically just lock you in your deployment zone while you get shot by Exocrines and Tyrannofex. That's nuts. Also Gargoyles. This list is so aggro. Absolutely no chill. Zero chill whatsoever. Plus, it's all super high attack volume, too, so it makes use of the critical effects and the enhanced criticals really well. The YOLO list, indeed. That's fucking wild. Let's go. Yeah, Daka. I talked about Daka yesterday, chat. I don't know if, or not yesterday. I'm so used to doing Tactical Tuesdays. I'm literally so used to doing Tactical Tuesdays. I called the stream Tactical Tuesday. But it's a Monday Mayhem because it's Monday morning. Actually, it's afternoon. But I go super in depth with that detachment with Skauki's win at 6++ GT. So I don't know if we're going to talk even further about it. You can watch that video if you want to see about it. Danny boy, that's your buddy. He's very aggro. I appreciate it. Is he one of those guys who's like, hey man, you want to roll to go first and then call it? Listen, buddy. Listen. I'm going to deploy on the line. And I'm going to win if I go first. Can we just call that okay? And you're like, all right. We'll only play it out if we're using differentials, but otherwise, you'll probably win by 10 points. It is Tuesday morning in New Zealand. All right. Perfect. My original title is definitely not a huge accident. I totally meant to do that, for sure. You play Bile, so it's a slaughter when you play. That's insane. Oh, man. Good stuff. So there's some Tyranids for you, chat. All aggro Tyranids. Just put them on the line. I thought for a hot minute that we would see some more armies when they were strong running warriors inside these detachments. So we see things like invasion fleets or vanguard onslaughts using warriors as like part, or raveners as well as part of the kind of like wave assault. I know raveners like feel underplayed to me. And I know there's probably Hippie Hunter's going to watch this video at some point. He's going to be like, yeah, dude, run 18 Raveners in every list because they're the best thing ever. Which he's probably not wrong about, but having 7 twin linked attacks with like sustained hits or lethals is pretty good. They don't infiltrate though, which is unfortunate. Mostly because they're direct only and you're broke. That's why 3D printers exist, chat. All right, folks. What else should we talk about? We dug deep, and we found some tyrannies to talk about. What is the John Lennon Centurion nonsense? He played Stormlands Task Force with the Salt Centurions. He played his Stormlands Task Force. I shouldn't say like he played a Stormlands Task Force. John Lennon fucking loves Stormlands Task Force, and he that man you cannot pry the Stormlands Task Force out of that man's hands unless his fingers are cold and dead. Yeah. Any Endless Swarm wins? No, there were not any wins with Endless Swarm. That might be one of the worst detachments in the game. Oh my god. R.I.P. reactive move. But listen, Centurions can still use it though. So it's fine. Everything's fine. It was weird. That was a weird change though. Like, to be fair, that came out of fucking nowhere. And I have a sneaking suspicion that it was a typo that they never caught. Because they're like, oh, it's a big automatic reactive move. That's a big deal. They didn't realize the fact that they had printed it being able to be used on any unit. And I have a sneaking suspicion that's what happened. And then people like John Lennon started playing it and being like, hey, check this out. I'm gonna have a reactive move, my Storm Raven gunship. You're like, oh, maybe we should change this. But that was not a particularly widely played detachment outside of Space Wolves in specific. Just wild. Yeah. Just wasn't important to address. Yeah, I agree. That seemed like one of those happy accidents that it was probably unintended, but also made the detachment interesting for vanilla Space Marines to play, because outside of that, there is literally no synergy. You almost might as well play, unless you're running the Storm Raven gunship build. I think is the only build that exists that remains in existence for that detachment, because in vanilla Space Marines, outside of the Dark Angels or Space Wolves, because there's literally no other synergy within it. It's so bad for the rest of the faction, and that was the only thing that was really interesting and cool, where you could play really aggressive melee units and then reactive move them. But they're like, no, a reactive move of Brutalis Dreadnought? I would never. It's wild. Games Workshop just watches Art of War videos and make changes. I do think that they do that sometimes, for sure. Deathwatch dodged the nerf anymore. Deathwatch did get nerfed, although I think they got side graded because they did lose points, but they also gained a better stratagem. So I don't know. All right, we want to look for some Leagues of Votann. I think has been the request that has been made. I'm so interested in talking about these Space Wolf lists. Once we get there. I'll be patient, I swear. All right. So the GTs had very little Leagues of Votann representation. See if we can find any RTTs. Chat. We're gonna take a quick peek here. There was some team events going down. I don't know if they use the new update, though. I don't usually cover those on this show. Asgard Games. Let's go with Asgard Games today. It's hidden. Great. Thanks, event organizer. You're the best. Junior Fleahy did go 4-0-1. This was teams, though, with Oathband. I don't know if they use the update. There's no way they did, right? A 43-person team event? There's no fucking way. This just has 2 fire prisms? What the fuck? I was looking up fire dragons to see if they went to 110. These do not look like updated points. That would have been wild. Hey, all 500 people at this event, can you resubmit your lists day of? Bedford Beatdown. This one did not use new points, right? No, I believe it was tactical. We're striking out on Votann too here, chat. We do only have 6 events to talk about, so we are we're kind of trying our best. This is Kryptonian Carnage. The Wogtang clan, good. That's very good. Ugh. Look at this man not running tank buses, so I can very easily see if the points have changed. God damn it, chat. No, 190.2 is there. Yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about this list. Clive Keys at a 3-0. It was old metagame, but Votann did not. Oathband, I don't believe mechanically changed at all, so it just would have been a matchup thing. Yeah. Working at Brokir, Ironmaster, Grimnir, hell yeah. A Call, Hearthkin Warriors, 5 Sagitors, okay. 6-mana Brokir Thunderkin for the Ironmaster to hang out with, Cthulhu Berserks ×3, Hearthguard, and a Land Fortress, Jaegers, Double Pioneers. Just a million scouts today. 7 scouting units with a Land Fortress behind them? Okay. Fair enough. That's very on the nose. You love to see it. All right. I think I've edged myself quite a bit here, chat, and I kind of want to talk about Space Wolves. Can we talk about Space Wolves for a sec? How do we feel? There's also some Necrons as well. Take a peek at Jonas Axelsson going 4-1 Necrons with hypercrypt. Oh, hypercrypt! It has been an age, my man. Welcome back to the competitive metagame, sir. You are a venerable veteran of 10th edition Warhammer 40k. It's nice to see you back, Mr. Hypercrypt Legion. My guy. You use your senior discount over here. Thunderkin are interesting. Yeah, usually they're like a strategic reserve unit off the side. Especially if you can get them around cover. They go kind of wild. An Arisen Tyrant, Locust Lord, an Asteoclave Fulcrum, Locust Lord, a unit of Immortals, 2 Doomsday Arcs. Is this? Wait a minute. Was these old points? I don't understand what's happening. Did he make space? Maybe he used the old stuff. I don't know. Because those should be 200. 2 units of 10 played ones and a unit of 5. This event did use new points, right? Yeah, because we had 375 point Bellicor. I talked about that Demons list in my video this morning. 2 units of Locust Destroyers, 2 Locust Heavy Destroyers, double Locust Destroyers with double Locust Lord. Are you kidding me? That is one with the rerolls when they arrive on the battlefield. The Asteoclave Fulcrum. God, it's been an age, Hypercrypt Legion. The Asteoclave Fulcrum is Deep Strike, so you don't have to Cosmic Precision them. Double Locust Lords with Locust Destroyers. So they get hit rerolls when you're on objective. They get lethal 5-ups, and they shoot a bunch of times, which is cute. Plus, you can... I think it's all. It's basically all you got for them, actually. I was gonna say you can like strip cover, but I don't think they can do that. Are they with Triarch Stalkers? Maybe that'd be good. No, it just seems Arcs. A million flayed ones though. They do deep strike innately, so they're gonna be very maneuverable. Plus 1. Oh, there is a Triarch Stalker. Excuse me. So we can strip cover with him, not with the detachment, and then a Lich Guard unit. What's this random Lich Guard unit doing? Just hanging out. There's no attachments for it. Just chills. All right. Is there technology there, chat? Are they just like 17 points and they have a 4+ invulnerable save? That's interesting. I have no idea. I've never seen an unattached Lich Guard unit. Absolutely wild. Can't wait to see where Emperor's Children land. Yeah, for sure, chat. I'm extremely curious where that faction ends up. It feels to me like they're gonna be pretty mid, I think, on release. They definitely do seem like a different flavor of this thing a bunch of other factions do, which is just like aggressive foot Space Marines. Like the Black Templars of the Chaos, side. But their like utility units are so incredibly crazy. Like their battle line is nuts. Tormentors and Infractors are wild. Absolutely wild. Hamilton and Morris have an RTT event this weekend. Unsure of numbers. Should be going, but can't afford to. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, RTTs, I will cover them if we have, if we're in a situation like this where we have very little data to talk about. But I don't usually dive into like sort of the RTT stuff. Jacob Bauer went undefeated this weekend with Sky Splinter. Oh yeah, dude. Congratulations. All right. We'll take another sift through over here. I believe that I think it feels like a lot of Chaos players just sort of like immediately jumped to Chaos Daemons. I wonder. Here's an interesting quandary for you, chat. Like Legion of Excess, I think we can all agree was broken and is dead now, right? They killed it. Like it's gone. I don't know. I think it was because like the game plan was like incredibly straightforward and kind of silly. But I had like, despite the fact that I main Chaos Daemons and I usually like playing big, annoying, like sort of like hybrid melee stuff, I had literally no desire to play Legion of Excess. Like I played it one time and I was like, this seems really broken. And I was like, I don't want to touch it anymore. And it feels like, so I'm peeking through our results here, our Action 1 results. And Chaos Daemons usually wildly underrepresented, except for Legion of Excesses, which were like just winning outright. And we have like, this is Grand Onslaught 9, and we have like multiple Chaos Daemons in the top 8, I guess. Running like Shadow Legions and Demonic Incursions. And it feels like a lot of players just like re-entered the faction. When like now that it got these buffs, it looks like a lot of Shadow Legions actually. Shadow Legion might be silly, but we'll see. I think the up-down, the Warp Talent enhancement is almost certainly going to get nerfed, it feels to me like. But I'm not sure. But like those detachments are so much more interesting than Legion of Excess, and I think that people I don't know. I'm more excited about the faction. I imagine a bunch of other Chaos players are more excited about the faction too. What do I think? More Daka will stand at the top. I don't think that's controversial to say. I think more Daka. I think that it is in conversation for the best Orc detachment for sure, and I do think that the archetype is gonna be one of the better ones. It's especially since Tactical Brigade got nerfed, it is a almost strictly better version of Tactical Brigade, which is wild because Tactical Brigade was already fine. The only thing that you lose is like all the chicanery you can do with the Flash Kits unit, the big Flash Kits unit, but that's it. That's like the only thing that you trade. Sustained hits too is almost strictly better than +1 to hit in most instances. The enhancements are nuts. You get like WOG on command. It's wild. And wound rerolls as well. Absolutely insane. So there is some World Eaters, as I have found here today. We had a couple of X2 Chaos Space Marines, I believe. So this is a 3/2 Lee Churchward from the 6++ with the Creations of Bile. So not a super good result, but in fairness, it was differential, and he had a really close loss. Only one of these losses was like super wide, Get a really close loss and 2 20s. So this man, there's a reason that he's towards the top of the X1 here. All right, no, he's not. I guess he's at the top of the X2. Excuse me. It's a Chaos Lord with Prime Test Subject, normal stuff, Cypher, Fabius Bill. Easy peasy. Big Cultist Mob, Legionaries, 2 units of 5. 3 Chaos Rhinos. Big unit of Chosen for Fabulous Bio to hang out with. Another unit of Chosen, Nemesis Claw. Double Possessed, 2 War Dog Gunsmen. Oh, this is a vanilla list. I was like, I think as soon as you see the Nemesis Claw, you're like, oh, just kidding. This is Anthony Vanilla playing vicariously playing through other people. Okay, this is like kind of the normal. This is the normal one. The regular Creations of Bile list. It's funny that it, like a week after this detachment came out, it won a GT with this list, and the list has never changed. Like, some people take more or less like Chosen, I guess, but generally speaking, that's basically everything. Wild. Yeah. Nothing new, in fairness. Yeah. We do have some World Eaters over here. Pat Lacker, running Berserker Warband. Karn. Okay, interesting. Invocatus, Angron, Jackals times 2, Khorne Berserkers, hang out with Karn. A Predator Annihilator. Did this also use the old points? Predator Annihilator's 140 now? Or did they go from 130 to 135? I've never seen a World Eaters version. Do they have different points values? I did have to explain to at Ides of March last week. It was funny to have to like get a judge called on the fact that some of the Chaos Predators have better top line profiles than the regular Chaos Predators, which is very funny because they have more or less objective control based on which kind they are. Now they stick at 135, yeah, so that's fair. Plus a 10-man Terminator squad, Jesus Christ, and 2 War Dog Brigands. So a lot of shooting for a World Leaders army. It is funny. I made that video about deploying, right? Optimal deployment. And I talked about how you should have staging units that will stand behind the terrain that can threaten the center of the table, and then you have long range units that will try to control lines of sight. And every 7 people immediately commented like, "Oh, I play World Eaters, so what do I do?" It's like, well, everything's a staging unit, so you just play everything's or a Jackal, right? It's either staging or utility. Not this list. This list is like, no. I'm gonna shoot you with a gun. But I do like the inclusion, right? Because you can't randomly be shot by a Predator Annihilator. It's 3 las cannons with reroll damage rolls and twin linked. So it's not a good chance that it kills you, but you don't want to take the chance that it kills you, which means that you have to play a little bit more conservatively with your stuff than you would normally be. Same with the Brigands too. Like if you just let the Brigands and the Predator shoot you chop of 1, then you'll just lose something randomly. And the downside of playing against World Eaters is that usually the melee stuff is so hyper lethal that you have to dedicate attacks to those things first. So shooting platforms tend to survive longer in World Eaters, or in armies like World Eaters, I should say. Maybe not necessarily World Eaters. The War Dog Brigands are not the hardest thing in the world to kill, although the Predators get Blessings of Khorne, so they will get Feel No Pains and stuff from the blessings that you purchased, which actually makes things like World Eaters Demon Engines kind of tanky, actually. They go to a 5+ invulnerable save, 6+ Feel No Pain, and actually can stick around for a little bit longer than you'd expect. I think the World Eaters Forge Fiend is only 140 or 145 right now. Plus, these guys also get +2 movement from the Blessing of Khorne 2. And so they go to move 12, the Annihilator, which is actually kind of sick. So that's cool. That's a cool list. It's nice to see a little bit of something a little different than the normal thing. The other thing too is you don't get as good overwatches and stuff. You can't screen quite as well because the World Eaters player could just choose to hold their Blessings of Khorne, or hold their, but because they have so much threat range, right? You go turn 1 early and you play really aggressively to screen the World Eaters player, which is usually what happens. Where you go oh, I'm going to ring you with infiltrators, so I'm going to prevent your scout moves and do a bunch of stuff. And the World Eaters player is like, that's fine. And then Angron just stands behind a ruin, and you one War Dog Brigand just kills your whole screen, and you're like, oh no, uh-oh. Now I don't have the screen, and also the World Eaters didn't dedicate anything to me, so I don't get to shoot it. Well, this sucks. Womp. Yeah, it totally changes the dynamic of that game. I think World Eaters, obviously World Eaters are doing fine without my help, but it does feel to me like they would be behooved to run extra guns. Now speaking of World Eaters, I think we should talk about Double Brigands, Nurglings, and Warp Talons and Creations of Baal. Warp Talons, I do like the idea of Warp Talons and Creations of Baal. It does like it's a very important break point if you can get them +1 strength, which is pretty neat. Pretty nice for sure. But I think we should talk about the Imperial version of World Eaters and talk about Space Wolves. NC Conroy in chat. We're talking about Space Wolves, dude. You came in exactly as... Did you know? Do you have some sort of bizarre sixth sense for whenever Space Wolf discussion happens? Are you kidding me? That was wild. That was fucking wild, dude. Warp Towns and Shadow Legion. I did think about that when I was building it. They do seem pretty good with Lance, for sure. I do like that combo. And somebody pointed out to me... somebody commented on, I think, on the data slate video. They were like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna take a Chaos Terminator Sorcerer in my Demons army and give +1 AP to all my demons." And I was like, "Hold up, does that work?" It sure fucking does, dude. I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy." That Shadow Legion definitely is the. We'll talk about Shadow Legion. We'll talk about Shadow Legion in a sec. They didn't go undefeated this week, but they sure did look like they are going to. Whew. Jean-Marc, it was actually somebody else. I saw your comment, but I had already I was already exporting the video this week. When I was doing the thing. No, but somebody posted like a couple days ago about it, and I was like, whoa, that's super cool. It's weird that the wording is different. Yeah, it might be because they can take demonic allies, right? So like they were already built to, they were already designed around playing in an ally situation. So maybe you're just like supposed to be able to do it. You can take a Chaos Terminator Lord and free uppy downy every turn. Oh, if you're only up downeying one. What? If you only up down one demon unit, you just get it for free. Then we were trying to get that to work with Havocs, but it didn't work with the fucking Havocs because Chaos Lords can't join Havoc units because they're stupid and dumb. That made me very mad. I dedicated so much thought to that. God damn it. Yeah, that is cute. I do like that. I don't know like what, like is that worth like 100 points or whatever you're spending on this like dog shit Terminator guy? You could just do a regular Chaos Lord, and then you just have a Chaos Lord who's awesome for the late game. I don't know. Chances of a new World Eater kill team unit being yet another cracked datasheet. It's a kill team datasheet. Of course it will be cracked. I think, has there ever been one of those datasheets that has not, if it's not a regular unit, right, like a Pathfinder squad or something, is there ever been one of those datasheets that's not immediately playable? I guess Corsairs were kind of mediocre. Although they still saw play, they like fringe play, and like Farstalkers, I guess. I think every other one has been like wild. Regular Chaos Lord just dies? Oh, Lord just mission stuff. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would just like play regular Chaos Lord and then just like on round 5, like use him to hit something with a hammer or something. Rattlings? David Gaylord immediately went undefeated with Rattlings in his list. Like I don't know. Somebody pointed out in the comments too that I missed the combo with Rattlings where you play them in Mechanized Assault and they just constantly disembark and re-embark their transport with their shoot and scoot. So they constantly get +1 to wound. I was like, this is sick. This unit rules. What a cool little guy. Yeah, the Mechanized Rattlings is so cool. Yeah. All right. We're talking about Space Wolves. Jordan Knack over here. Champions of Russ. Space Wolf Terminators. Oh my god. I don't know if this is the same Jordan Knack, by the way. I kind of imagine it probably is. I used to be a big old War Machine guy. We used to play War Machine together all the time. I wonder if it's the same guy. We played a bunch of games in conventions. All right, well, we're starting strong. We have a Terminator Ancient, Black Death on a Captain, so the anti-monster, anti-vehicle devastating little guy, cute little guy. Librarian, Logan Grimnar, Murder Fang, Ragnar Blackbane, Assault Terminator times 2. So Captain and the Ragnar Blackbane get their own Assault Terminator squads. Fucking 15 Blood Claws. Is that what this is? Holy shit! Who we joining with them? Nobody? Oh, Libby maybe. So we have are they 15 or 20? I feel like they go to 20. Do they go to 20 or am I crazy? Can you take like an odd number of Blood Claws? I wouldn't put it past them. Oh, they do go to 15. That's weird. Wait, why do they go to 15? Are they sold in boxes of 15? Can you even buy Blood Claws? In fairness, are they just Assault Marines? Turns out searching blood on the Games Workshop website is not particularly useful. If you look up blood anything, you get all sorts of weird shit, dude. It's the Grey Hunter box, I guess, right? But that's just 10 guys. Why would you be able to take units of 15? That's so random. Okay. They're like, listen. 20, that's Black Templars only. No one else can take 20 guys. They usually announce 40k rules for kill teams before or after release. I think it's like simultaneous, but I don't really pay attention to kill team release dates, so I don't really know. But anyway, 15 Blood Claws, so we can maybe give it an invulnerable save too. I'm not sure. Double Hounds of Mordkai, which I love. A little devastating Wound Reaver boy. Invader ATV for some doing ATV stuff. Land Raider Crusader. Oh, fuck yeah. Plus double Scout squads and a Terminator Assault squad. So we're ingressing the Terminators because they don't fit in the Land Raider, right? Because it only fits 16. But we can put 15 Blood Claws in a character inside. Do we have transports for the other assault units? We do not. So they're just ground pounding. Or we are cycling them out. So we can follow up the Land Raider with the Assault Intercessors or the Blood Claws, vice versa, and then disembark one of them and run the other one into the Crusader to protect it and give it like 6 extra inches of movement because that thing's really big. And then dump it out the next turn. And the Terminator Ancient, obviously, it gives them the OC bonus, so they go to OC2. I think they can actually dual attach with Logan. I don't think they get a bonus, right? I don't think Logan has his army-wide thing. But he could potentially hop in there, and then they get +1 to hit and potentially +1 to wound if they take damage. I cannot find Logan's data sheet. I'm so confused. The internet has failed me. Oh, because I was in the Death Watch section, that's why. Yeah, he has no leadership ability. He's just hanging out. Just a guy, just a big guy. But if he gets +1 to wound, that's actually sick. Because then he's also generating CP more consistently too. So that could be an attachment in there because he is Chapter Master keyworded. So I believe he can dual attach with the Terminator Ancients. Definitely a more interesting place to put Logan than just like performing actions with him, which is normally what he does. Yeah, you can attach him alongside a Chapter Master. Very nice. It's a type. It's a typo that they didn't get corrected again. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I imagine like you probably want to have the option for units to take up to 15 so that they can go into Crusaders, right? But like, it's weird that they're capped at 15. When to build the unit, you have to buy 2 boxes of 10, guys. Wild. Incredible. At least it isn't like Death Guard that can take 7 of something. Well, it's because 7's Nurgle's number. Come on, that's like fluffy. And also, nobody does it anyway. You take 5 or you take 10. Nobody takes 7. Want to try the new rules in White Dwarf? What's the new rules in White Dwarf? For Space Wolves? This list is cool, by the way. This is super classy. Logan, 10 Terminators, and like 30 melee infantry? What the fuck? Okay, let's go. The downside is that being transport focused, it's difficult to switch sagas for any of these guys, but because they're going to be off the battlefield most of the time in the command phase, but that's not that big of a deal. At least you get to hit first anyway, and you're probably in the sustained hit saga regardless, which is the one you want all the time. You buy 2 boxes, you're left with 5 dudes. Yeah, I mean, you could just like use them as something else, right? But it's just weird. I always wondered why what you buy doesn't match what you can play. Well, they like so buy 3 boxes. Yeah. Just buy another box. It's like some sort of monetization scheme where they're like, all you have to do is just if you get 1 more pack, you could get another loot box. Oh boy. Yeah, but they made it's weird because they made such a big push in 10th edition to marry all of the unit sizes with their boxed set contents. So it's weird to have this one unit that just is like randomly like more than the boxed set you can take. What weaknesses do we think Demons and the new Orc detachment will have? I wonder if the new Orc detachment has I wonder if the new Orc detachment is tough. It has difficulty with like aggressive melee stuff. If you can get through trucks, which in fairness is a little difficult for melee armies, the only thing that they can really do against melee besides just like counter punching it or screening it is like reroll wounds in melee, right? So that they or overwatching it with Ludas, but that has a lot of counterplay, right? Like they don't get sustained hit to when they're overwatching. They also don't reroll if you're not touching an objective. They're just rolling ones, so like they're really inconsistent when they're overwatching. And you can go touch them, and they can't do anything once they get engaged. There's one enhancement to fall back and shoot, and that's literally it. So as long as you're just like touching all the big gun units, they can't do anything. I do think that the correct, probably the platonic ideal of Mordaka is going to end up being like the Jack Tight list with 40 Orc Boys and Zodgrod. It just has this immense front line, which is relatively scary in melee and also hard to like chew through. I think that's going to help, and I do think that a lot of the armies are going to be bringing like one melee beat stick that's just going to like sit in the back and then just go like punch someone to death towards the mid game to like clear out the like jamming units. But I do think that like getting 5 jump back assault intercessors into the middle of that army is is fucking like horrible for them, because it's just they're like all the little Luda attacks just bounce off and they like scythe through them. They don't kill them very effectively, but eventually they'll get there. The little power fist guys just like killing 2 Ludas a turn. You're like, no, stop it, please, my guys. So that's like aggressive melee stuff. I think is going to be the answer if we find one. The new demons. I think new demons will have probably the same like weaknesses that the old demons did. Their like numbers got bigger, but the army didn't really like change that much. So if you were good against old demonic incursion, you're going to be good against new demonic incursion. And at least until someone like can really prove me otherwise, Shadow Legion looks like a slightly different version of Demonic Incursion that has like a way cooler Bloodthirster and like more guns in it, but worse deep striking. So you just like, you trade. You're like, I get Honor of the Chapter instead of +1 AP. It's also Lance, but I can't use it on a gun. Okay, cool, man. So, like, I don't know. I think the Shadow Legion and Demonic Incursion seem like two sides of the same coin. They're going to play largely the same, and if you can answer one, you can answer both. Which is mostly like, you just need like high volume, like mid-strength shooting, which is ironically what Daka brings, which is a little scary. So you can just like clip out the Greater Demons once they drop in. And you need like Omni Scramblers helps, and the ability to kill their like jams helps a lot too. Dean 8149. You can. There's a stratagem in Space Wolves to switch sagas. Warrior Pride. Using a character model, and his unit counts as like getting a saga. It doesn't switch the saga. It counts you as having completed an additional saga. You double charge a truck and kill it, and what spits out? That's much easier said than done. At least trucks aren't super big, and orcs are super big, so sometimes you can touch them. But like, it depends entirely on how defensively the transport is positioned, how long your charges are, like who gets killed on the breakout. It's really inconsistent to engage people who are disembarking a transport. If they're 40 mil bases, it's much easier, but if it's like 6 tank bustas, it actually gets really hard. What do I think of Mephitic Blighthaulers being 85 points? Is 6 to 9 unreasonable? Maybe. I definitely think you take 3. 3 seem pretty fine, to be honest. Need infiltrators to deny the Zod bomb. New detachment can't rely on trucks as much as they don't get the sustained hits on firing deck. Yeah, they're still good at shooting though. It's not like you it's not like you're you know, not getting the attacks in, but they're definitely way better once they're on the table for sure. Hot take with demons is that Beasts of Nurgle got the biggest glow up. I do, yeah. I don't disagree. I actually put one in my list. My list actually, even with all the changes, because a bunch of my utility went down, and I cut Shalaxi because her new data sheet is fucking trash. I actually got like 60 extra points and ended up getting a Beast of Nurgle on my list. Have I theory crafted the new best possible demons list? No. I haven't played exactly one game since the update. It's been a rough week, chat. Shrek is also 65 points, yeah. Basically free. I want to go back to talking about Space Wolves, though, because we talked about one Space Wolf list, but in the X and 1, there's like 7. In the X and 1 bracket here, there's like a trillion. So if we go over to the 6++ Grand Tournament, there are 2 and another Space Marine in X1. Ed Watts is playing... Is it Ultramarines? It's Ultramarines. Oh, it's Librarius, though. All right, we'll talk about that in a second. That's sweet. Fucking Librarius. Also Dark Angels. What the hell? So we had 2 Space Wolf players right back to back here. George Leithley. Running Champions of Bruss. Bjorn the Fell-Handed. Black Death Captain. Logan Grimnar. Ulrich the Slayer. Let's go. The most underplayed character in existence. Salt Intercessor Squad. 10 Blood Claws. Hang out with Ulrich. That's the big downside of Ulrich. If he could attach into like Blade Guard veterans or shit, he would like go crazy, I think. You can't, right? Not crazy. I think it's literally only Grey Hunters and Blood Claws. It's just the little mini Marine Space Wolf guys. Yeah, and Long Fangs and Wolf Guard. What a time. But he gives you full hit and wound rerolls in melee. Like, what are you talking about? That's wild. This is the most insane leadership ability. 1 Impulsor, 1 Rhino. So we have I think an Assault Intercessor. Yeah, Assault Intercessor for Black Death. Rhino for the Blood Claws to hop into because they're mini Marines. Triple Jump Pack Assault Intercessors, 1 Gladiator Lancer, keep people's head down. A Scout Squad, a newly expensivated Vindicator, plus 20 Wolfen. Let's go. This is much like we have Wolfen to be very aggressive, and then the rest of those kind of skirmishes. We have 2 big gun platforms to kind of take over the middle, and then we're staging with 2 vehicles with like 1 million just super tough melee dudes inside. This is like quintessentially Space Wolves. Space Wolves have always been vanilla Marines with extra steps, vanilla Marines with slightly cooler units. Where they play like, well, we take a little bit of guns, we take a bunch of melee, and then we have a bunch of characters who are fucking awesome. And that's kind of what this list is. Ulrich the Slayer. You'll love to see him. What a guy. 6++ GT had Space Wolf versus Space Wolf Day 2? Hell yeah, dude. Let's go. Bird Flu 2.0 or Shadow Legion? I don't know if Bird Flu 2.0 will work. Because the Greater Clean ones got more expensive. I also think that list archetype is flawed from the get-go. Giving up Max Assassination Mask, bring it down, I think is just like not something you're allowed to do with Chaos Daemons. I'm actually shocked that the undefeated army that we talked about this morning was 5 graders, because it feels to me like that archetype has such a weakness to matchups that are, as soon as your opponent is good at killing greater demons at all, you don't just like get to like play a really cagey game that you win at the end. They just kill you, and it doesn't really matter what you scored because they're going to outscore you because they maxed both their secondaries. And you spent like 1,600 points on greater demons, so you don't have enough like utility to score out. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about it. Maybe I'm just a big idiot. But that's like, it seemed to me like you like playing as soon as you cross that threshold, you steamroll like 3 of your 3 out of 5 games, and then your opponent's like playing Vindicators or something and just goes like, oh cool, I don't have to do actions anymore, and then like just wipes the floor with you. But I don't know, that's just how I feel. Next up, George Leafly. Oh wait, this is the same list, right? Yes. This is the same list. So the other one is Paul James. Here we go. Paul James, running Champions of Russ also. Triple captain, bro, with power weapons. What? Okay. Is this, who remembers that Black Templars list right at the start of the edition when you could take both Primaris and Firstborn captains? And it had like 12 captains in it in Land Raiders. That's like giving me the same vibes. Where you're like, listen, if we have 6 individual activations of Finest Hour, it's actually pretty good, right? That feels kind of like this. Bjorn the Fell-Handed, triple captain plus Murderfang and Ragnar. No Logan. We left Logan at home. Army-wide hit rerolls? Who fucking needs it? Get that Joker out of here. We have 5 assault intercessors. This just rules. What the fuck? 5 assault intercessor squads. So it's Ragnar and 3 captains inside 4 of them, and then one just hangs out, I guess, and like is a utility guy. Okay. Double impulsors, or like cycling them in and out of impulsors, I imagine. 2 units of assault intercessors, an infiltrator squad, double invader ATVs for utility, scout squad, 5 Stern Guard veterans. They're actually another great place for a captain, although I'm not sure that we would put the captain there in place of the assault intercessors, because they're a little bit less consistent on where they get their rerolls, their wound rerolls from. But you get total control over it, so it's kind of a wash. But the benefit is that they get full hit and wound rerolls when they target their oath target in any phase. It doesn't have to be shooting, and most of the time it's shooting because you want to get all their devastating wounds. But then they'll just like rock up, and then the captain with full wound rerolls will just punch your head off, which is neat. And then 2 units of 5 Wolfen. This list is wild. Wait. What an insane list this is. 25 assault intercessors and 5 characters? 6 characters? Bjorn, Murderfang, 4 captains. Let's go. I love it. I love it. A list after my own heart. I've been cutting Logan recently as well. Interesting. That's so wild. He doesn't seem from the outside looking in, as someone who has played a limited number of games with Space Wolves, not zero. I've played at least one whole tournament this edition with Space Wolves. He seems like he's still such a steal for what you get. That I don't know. He's not including him seems crazy to me, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just an insane person. I guess if you're playing like gun stuff, then it doesn't matter. But this list is clearly not. This is a list that would sure like to get reroll charges and reroll hit rolls. Like, I don't know. But sometimes you just gotta have Ragnar Blackbane, you know? What a wild list. Man, Space Wolves, they're getting creative about it. I love it. It feels like maybe Space Wolf players have spent so long just being everybody telling them to play Ultramarines, and they got sick of it. And they're like, I'm just gonna play some wild shit. And they're getting to the point where they're starting to see success with it because they've just been throwing spaghetti at the wall for the last like 2 months. Full reroll is so good with Lethal Stand, yeah, for sure. Yeah, getting the reroll on the in addition to getting critical effects from champions is so good. Christopher Langton, rocking a Gladius Task Force over here. The name of the list is Dark Angels, maybe. Pretty sure it is Dark Angels. You do have Azrael on your list, Christopher. I don't want to alarm you, but I think you've made your choice. Ranking double, jump pack assault intercessors, triple ballistas dreadnoughts, triple Deathwing knights, infiltrators, inner circle companions, scouts, one vindicator. So it looks like we cut a vindicator to make room for the points increases because the ballistas all went up, the vindicator itself went up. Oftentimes this list took 2 vindicators. I think we got a utility unit out of it instead. But this is kind of standard stuff. Like a bunch of backline shooting with Deathwing Knights in the front is pretty normal. Inky, you want to come up? Want to say hi to chat? Inky's been a weirdo today. Also, I've been a weirdo today. It's a weird kind of week. Space Wolf players feel so loyal. That's true. Actually, yeah, that's true. Space Wolf players are definitely like the Orc players of the Imperium, like super faction. They're like, come hell or high water, I'm going to play my Space Wolves. And I'm going to play so many silly dreadnoughts. Okay. You do you, buddy. All right. Speaking of sisters, we do have an X1 sisters list we can talk about at the Iberian Open. I also found there's a 3-2 Adeptus Custodes list that looks like went down to the final round to a ridiculously close game. So we'll probably talk about that one too. Round 3 in pod looks like it's going to be a Librarius mirror, except it's Space Wolves versus Dark Angels. Oh, we were going to talk about the Ultramarine Librarius list. Shit, I closed the tab. Fuck. Well, let's do that real quick. Speaking of Librarius, I don't want to miss the opportunity to talk about cool Space Marine detachments. Load, please. Please load. Thank you. It was Ed Watts' list. Ultramarines Gladius or Ultramarines Librarius. Double Phobos Terminators or Librarians. Terminator Librarian. Fusillade Standard Librarian. The Terminator Librarian gives you sustained 1, right? Am I crazy about that? Having never I don't want to say I've never seen a Terminator Librarian on the table. I just forget what they do. Yeah, sustained 1 and a psychic hood. And he has a smite. It's a bit of a missed opportunity that all of the librarians have identical ranged attacks. Especially because Thousand Suns, they went like so far out of their way to make every single ranged attack on every single psyker different, to the point that it gets really annoying and it's hard to like parse what's going on the table. They just didn't do that with Space Marines. They're like, fuck it, I don't know, everybody gets smite. Space Marine Librarians are stupid and we hate them. Sucks to suck. But sustained hits is good, I guess. Robo Booty Gillyman and Uriel Ventress. So we probably have a fusillading Stern Guard squad, I imagine. Assault Intercessors plus a Desolation squad. There's no like internal synergy between Librarius and a Desolator squad, right? We're just taking it because it's a really good unit. And can confirm if you're like so much of the metagame right now is like annoying light infantry that's running around. I think Desolators are just like super good. You could give them lethal hits. No, you can't. Just kidding. Yeah, I don't think you can do anything with them. I think they're just guys. Just hanging out. They're just chilling. Chilling like villains. Biggest hindrance to Librarians is that Space Wolves don't have good way to get command points. Yeah, they do. It's Logan Grimner. It's basically guaranteed. You just make sure you always play against Tyranids, and they always put a Spore Mine in his line of sight. You just shoot the Spore Mine every turn, you get a CP. Blam! Give me that shit. Give me your face. Desolator Squad, double Eliminators. Man after my own heart. This is basically how we drew it up, chat, when we built this list. An Incursor Squad, double Incursor Squads, Jesus. The Scout Squad, there's the Stronger Veterans for the Fusillade guy to jump into. 10 Assault Terminators. Fuck me. We can give them... Iron Arm can get them to Strength 10, right? Do we have a sale on that guy? No. Or Celerity, whatever, the thing that gives you Advanced Charge. We don't have the Advanced Charge enhancement. That's like such a missed opportunity. I don't know what you cut for that, but that feels like a windmill slam. That's wild. But I guess if you're just like you're just gonna be like we're just gonna Rapid Ingress him. I don't know. I'm like call it a day. That's like maybe fine. Yeah, it is Celerity. Advanced in Charge for 30 though, so it's like almost a whole unit. Yeah, all right, okay, fair enough. But you can get them to winning most things on 3s or 4s. They can be like almost toughness 6 with telekinesis, and they can get rerolls potentially, and potentially +2 movement. Yeah, a lot of buffs for Terminators there. They can be led by a Librarian? I guess so. We don't have an extra Librarian for them. But there's also, like, there's no stratagems you would use on Desolators, right? You could use... Yeah. It's like Ignore Cover and Lethal Hits, which was like, I guess Lethal Hits is good. But that's about it. So, like, there's not really much you're doing with that. I don't know. Good stuff. All right, we want to talk about Adepticon Sororitas. I think was the next one. That was at Iberian Open. Sir Valiant Aegis. You think that's a real name? You think this person's parents named them Sir Valiant? I guess we can probably use male gendered pronouns because we did use Sir here. We kind of gendered ourselves. 30 is a lot, yeah. It's like, especially if you're going to be like, hey, I want to get +2 strength, so I'm just going to flip to Biomancy Discipline the turn that they go to charge. So they're going to be move 7 after a Rapid Ingress. So they're like, their effective charge, like threat out of Deep Strike is actually really long. All right, this is Adeptus Sororitas. I gotta pull up the Adeptus Sororitas Codex rules here because it has been so long. We've talked about Adeptus Sororitas, like 6 months since this faction got literally removed from the game. Using Army of Faith, which is cool. So that's the Jump Pack detachment. You get 2 Acts of Faith per turn, and you get a bunch of Jump Pack auras. Right? That's the one? Yeah. 3 inches of friendly Sororitas Jump Pack units. Let's go. So we have a Jump Pack Canoness with Divine Aspect. So that's a 5-point points filler. All right, it makes me take a Battle Shock chest. Cool. Morbin Ball. It also generates Miracle Dice. If they fail the Battle Shock check, which is cute. Palatine, Litanies of Faith, so you can gain Miracle Dice by taking leadership checks on yourself, and St. Celestine plus Morven Ball. Battle Sister Squad, 2 Immolators with Multi-Meltas, Archel Flatulence, triple Castigator, 2 Battle Cannons, 1 Auto Cannon. Y'all remember, who remembers back in the day when we would stress and over-scrutinize exactly what the weapon loadouts of everyone's Castigators were? Remember when that was super relevant? Before the dark times, before the Empire. I think the enhancement is on him. He's a 75 by model, listed as 105. Oh. Oh, interesting. Yeah, maybe you're right, chat. You just didn't write it in or something? Huh. Yeah, you're right. I didn't notice the points value, but that is way too expensive for a Terminator Librarian. That is, yeah, that's correct, right? Terminator Librarian's only 75. Although, to be fair, Librarian, top line is kind of bad. It's not crazy. It's not unbelievable. Librarian Terminator armor is indeed 75. You're right. Yeah. You right, chat. GW used an AED on sisters. Yeah. We have a pulse. You're alive. Start CPR. Archoflagellants, so a little utility unit, triple castigators, 10 Sacrosants. Even an attachment for them? Oh yeah, Palatine, obviously. Hanging out with the Sacrosants, most likely, because we can't attach anyone else, because everyone else is Jump Pack Lady or a big robot. Paragon Warsuits for Morven Vol, Seraphim Squad, Sister Novitiate, and the Zephyrim Squad, which might be for the melee lady. So the big benefit here is that we can do a lot of funny stuff with the Jump Pack models in the early game. So Shield of Denial, you can, or excuse me, not that one. Oh, this is Champions of Faith. What am I fucking doing? Jesus Christ. I clicked on the wrong of Faith thing. It is in fact, Shield of Faith, which can protect you against mortal wounds. Blinding Radiance, which can make you -1 to hit. Divine Guidance, which can give you +1 AP. And Light of the Emperor, which ignores modifiers, are all super huge benefits for the Castigators. The Light of the Emperor and Blinding Radiance can be auras from the Jump Pack units, so you can babysit the Castigators with the Zephyrim or something in the early game, and you can broadcast those buffs into all of them, which is pretty cool. It also works off St. Celestine too, so Celestine can just be hanging out over there and then heroically intervene if you try to engage them. And you have up-downs for them, too. So, Celestine can be super tough to kill. She's a regenerator, or a reanimator. She can regenerate models in her unit. She can have a 4+ feel no pain, so she's just, impossible to get rid of. And then she can constantly be up-downing over your deployment zone. So, I don't know. It's neat. We don't have any, I guess there's immolators. So, we do have, outlets for the double miracle thing. And Morven Vol's unit's probably pretty solid for double miracles. Plus, keeping the characters alive is really good if you have 4s in your miracle pool. To burn for their invulnerable saves. But a lot of times, what we saw was exorcists in this detachment, because as soon as any 2 hits went through for the exorcist, they would automatically cut for huge damage. But if you have multi-meltas, it does kind of the same thing. The downside is obviously the volume of miracle dice that you have right now is a little bit tough, but Army of Faith does have ways to generate more, as we talked about. We did talk about Necrons previously. Yeah, we talked about a hypercrypt legion, which was really cool. It was mass locusts. It was pretty wild. It was a very cool list. Inky's coming to snuggle, by the way, chat. She's being shy, so she's off camera right now. What are you doing? You okay? Look at this cat. She's just like up on my arm here. Hi, kitty. Aw, you such a cutie pie. All right. So we talked about. Oh, we haven't talked about Eldar yet. The Grand Onslaught had 3 Eldar players in X1. It seems like Eldar immediately got relegated to X1 after this update. They're like, no, Azerman got nerfed. we're only fringe playable now. So let's talk about some Eldar lists. It is a cat, chat, and she's a cutie pie. She's a big cutie pie. She hopped up on my chest like while I was working last night. I was trying to get work done. And she hopped up on my chest and she demanded to be like held by like a baby. She's like so needy. It was incredibly cute. It was also very annoying at the time, but also very cute. So she gets a free pass. Be cute. Steve Trimble over here. Thanks, GW. I didn't want to play Phoenix Swords anyway. Okay. Running Ynnari. Are these all Ynnari? Should we take bets, chat? 3 Eldar in a row. Are they all Ynnari? I'm going to say one of them is like something wild and random. We're 2 for 3. No, but I was wrong. Oh, excuse me. I opened the same one twice. Just kidding. Maybe I could still be right. Nope. Nope. Get wrecked. I suck. Oh, the only time your cat is needy is when he's sick or dying. Yeah, not the problem I have over here. What are you doing? Okay, you want to be up there? All right. That's fine. Yeah, she's a handful. This little baby. She needs all the love and attention forever. Otherwise she gets sad and she pouts and she has little temper tantrums. Spoiled animal. You sit on my arm like a good DB? There you go, baby. You're cute. Oh no, not on the desk. Uh-oh. Oh, on my keyboard. Oh, come here, Inky. Let's see. So we were looking at Steve Trimble's list. This one was running an Archon. That's fun. Plus the Incarn, the Vice Arc, and Yvrain. We've Cavalry Warrior Squad, probably for the Archon, I imagine. Looks like double Wave Serpents and a Venom. Triple Fire Dragons. Okay. Howling Banshees ×2. Rangers ×2 for forward operating. Warp Spiders ×3. Can you? God damn it. No spoiled animals. And then 10 Ynnari Incubi. So the Incubi are pretty classic because they can just like sit in the back and then you can dual attach the devastating characters to them and they just kind of go insane with your brains buff. And then we just have a bunch of little units that can run around and score and trigger lethal intent to get those guys to move. Fire Dragons can move around as well. I don't know. Everybody knows how Ynnari works now, right? It's like, that's how it goes. I feel like we're not breaking new ground talking about this too much. So always about 8 kilograms. Is that a lot? Inky, how much do you weigh? Will you tell me? Can I curl you? She's like, I weigh enough for you to snuggle me. Let's take a peek at Saltire GT. Is it also devoted to Minion? It is. This list has Storm Guardians in it, at least. 1 Wave Serpent, double Dark Reapers, double Fire Dragons. This one is a 10-man. That's fun. Howling Banshees ×3, Striking Scorpions ×2, Warlock Skyrunner, Warp Spiders, Wind Riders. It's one Warlock Skyrunner, so you could run him by himself. And I'm a level chat. The fact that not every single Eldar list doesn't start with 3 Warlock Skyrunners blows my goddamn mind. Because they have like essentially a heavy flamer. They're move 14, and they're non-character single entity units. So they're like the best utility units in the game. And like nobody plays them by themselves, which why it blows my mind. They don't have like a destruction clause, right? Where they like kill themselves. I don't believe that they do, unless that's new. But they're just like little guys. So he's just a little guy, and he runs around his actions and stuff. And it's wild. I guess like for the cost of 2 of them, you get like 1 aspect warrior unit, but you get more lethal intent activations out of them. I don't know. It's surprising to me. Is all I have to say about that. Warlock Skyrunner. Yeah, just a little guy. 17.63 pounds. Oh, that's quite a bit for sure. Dropping a 3rd Dark Reaper for 2 Warlocks. Yeah. Especially because like you don't always want to give away Striking Scorpions and stuff, right? Like the useful like utility units. Like unless it's Rangers, right? Which seems like not a lot of people are taking. The 5-man Exarch units, like you don't want your Striking Scorpions to have to go do an action in the middle because they're expensive and they're legitimately good anti-infantry, right? So you want them to go kill like people's high OC stuff and like clip characters and things. And so just being able to do that with this like 40-point moron on a bike like feels great. I don't know. But I'm no Eldar player, chat. That's just me. Seems like it is the Ynnari show over there in Eldar land. Little Grey Knight action at Grand Onslaught 9. David Ozawa on Warpbane still. The Nemesis Grandmaster. What is this? Wait. Excuse me. Nemesis Grandmaster, a Strike Squad, a Rhino, 2 Interceptors, 3 Nemesis Dread Knights, 2 Purifiers. So we can the Strikes can go into 1 Razorback. The Interceptors must go in the other Razorbacks, right? And then the 5-man Purifier goes in the 3rd Razorback, and then the 10-man Purifier goes into the Rhino. This list is insane. There's no characters or anything, so that must be how they allot out, because I don't see any other things that can embark here. they are rolling. They are rolling and trolling. This is wild. What is happening? Whoa. So... Like, I mean, I guess we get a Last Cannon and a Hunter Killer Missile with rerolls, right? So, like, that's cute. And then also, the Interceptors get, like, rerolls on their Stormbolters and Psy Cannon shots, which is cute, too. So, they're, like, they become pretty good at clipping infantry. But Razorbacks don't have the enhanced fire support, right? So, you don't get, like, this crazy melee, like, beat stick unit out of it. You're just, like, a little guy. I'll double check that just in case, but I'm 90% sure that they have the bad fire support version, not the good one. Not the Eldar one, which is strictly better. Yeah, theirs is until the end of the phase, not end of turn. Although it probably should be end of phase for a Grey Knight vehicle whose only occupants are going to be like 2 damage melee weapon wielding battle psychers. Yeah, I guess the benefit is that they can benefit from it every turn, right? Because you can just hop them in and out. That's a wild list, though. And I guess, like, the Razorbacks are... Basically, it's a last game with full rerolls. So, like, the chances that you don't convert it are very slim. It's like an 80-something% chance that you force a save, right? Every time you shoot one of these things. Plus, you have a Hunter Killer in there, too. If you're running 2 monoliths in a list, is it fair that you're running a pyramid scheme? No, you need 1 monolith supported by 2 obelisks to be a true pyramid scheme. You need a down line for the monoliths. Otherwise, it doesn't work. This list is wild. That's cool to see. All right, chat. We're coming up to the end here, so I think it's time to talk about Chaos Daemons. We've held off for long enough. I want to hop in. I will be around after this, by the way. I think we're going to play a game over on Twitch for a bit and just like kind of chillax and hang out. So if you want to watch some gameplay, you can do that after we're done with the stream here. That'll probably be in 20 or 30 minutes, but otherwise, we're going to talk about Chaos Daemons, and I think we're going to wrap things up. I will be live tomorrow as well for Tactical Tuesday. I haven't decided on what we're talking about quite yet, but it's certainly going to be something super cool and fun and awesome. That's going to be great, and you're going to be like, whoa, what a great topic that you've chosen, Trevi. And I'm glad that I was here to watch it live, because that's what I'm going to do. But in the meantime, we'll talk about Cody Drake, who has the name of the primary protagonist of like some sort of Nintendo like game where you play an adventuring 7-year-old who like it commands a starship somehow. That's or he rides a dragon. Is also probably what he does, I think. This is a Shadow Legion. Oh man, I love this list. This list fucking rules. We're off to a good start here. Be'lakor, a Bloodthirster with Fade to Darkness. So the in the Shadow Legion, the Khorne units get advance and charge permanently. So he's a move 12 dude. You can't shoot him outside 18 inches, and his threat range is on average much longer than 18 inches. It is on average 22 and a half. And then once he hits you, he'll probably kill you because he's a Bloodthirster. And then it gets to be placed into reserve, and for a command point, you just rapid ingress him back in the next turn. So he can, for a CP every turn, he can potentially infinitely kill you something every round, which is pretty neat. And then once you get to the late game, but he can commit with Be'lakor. Be'lakor gives him rerolls to hit, and he's very consistent. It's also, it's super awesome. We have triple grid on Claimed Ones. One has Leaping Shadows, which I don't know what that one does. To be, I'm a level. I'm unfamiliar. Is that this? That might be the scout move, actually, and that must be the scout move, I imagine. It is in fact the scout move. Yes, 9-inch scout on a great and clean one. And then those guys get transhuman effect. So if your strength is higher than their toughness, then they get -1 to wound. So they're kind of like toughness 14 or something, which is pretty nuts. The downside is that they have very little. Like once you're strength 7, they have like no defense whatsoever. They lost their, or I guess they have a Feel No Pain baked in now. They don't have an aura for a Feel No Pain, but they have a 6-up. But other than that, they're just like eating damage from low strength stuff. So that's what you're trying to be pushing at them. But they did get quite a bit scarier in melee, which is a little neat with some extra attacks and potentially rerolls from Be'lakor too. 6 Nurglings to prevent people from blocking that scout. 9 What the fuck is this list? A Knight Despoiler and a Terminator Sorcerer. That caught me totally off guard, chat. This is fucking, what is happening? This is like actions. We don't need actions. Where we're going, we don't need those. Wild. The spoilers double battle cannons. He doesn't have any internal synergy, I don't believe, right? Because the detachment ability only grants all the relevant keywords to Heretic Astartes units. I think the only thing that you can do is give him +1 AP with the Terminator Sorcerer there, I imagine. Now I have to look up the Sorcerer datasheet and whether it works on everything. And not just the Marines and the Demons, because I know it works on them. But I have a sneaking suspicion that that Terminator Sorcerer is going to be in a lot of lists. Yeah, he works on every attack. So you can get double battle cannon Knight Despoiler shots with an additional AP, which is neat. And then you can also, they're a strength 10, but you can do the bird flu thing where you triple reduce their toughness characteristics. So they go from, like, a T12 vehicle can be T9. So your Knight Despoiler that's +1 AP can also be essentially +2 to wound on it too. Despoiler out of nowhere with the steel chair, for sure. Yeah, I think it's exclusively for the Grid Unclean One combo, right? You can't pick him up, unfortunately, which would be neat. So there's no redeployment. That would actually be almost certainly broken if you could just up down that dude. So yeah, I think he's just chilling and shooting people from the back line. He's also Titanic, so his like ability to get line of sight to people is pretty good too. This list rules. This is the greatest list I've ever seen in my life. Just don't play against anyone who has the capacity to kill a Grid Unclean One, and then you're good to go. If anybody can kill a Grid Unclean One, you're dead. Grimdark had a X1 Chaos Daemons. They scored 0 in one game. Jesus. Shadow Legion with a million Nurglings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 45, 51 Nurglings. And a unit of Pink Horrors. Flesh Hounds for utility, Beast of Nurgle for more scouting, a Chaos Lord in a chosen unit, and a Cultist Mob and some Warp Talons. So we have some actual beat stick stuff from the Chaos Space Marines, but otherwise we're just like swarming you with Nurglings forever and ever and ever. I just like this detachment can heal Nurglings, right? And they get the -1 to wound effect like all the time, actually. So they're basically T5, right? Or 4, T4 at least. It's like a weird scaling effect. If you had one Great Unclean One in this detachment, made them all T4, and then they also got the -1 to wound, that would actually be terrifying. And they would all just string back to him and Bellicor, and then those two would like late game. I would explode. I would turn inside out. Oh, you brought strength 6, like infantry sweeping? It wins on 3s, I don't know. Or 4s, I guess. Jesus. Singular put 19 damage onto Nick's scouting Great Unclean One. Yeah, the scouting, I think people talk a lot about the scouting Great Unclean One. I think mostly because it's like funny. And it forces the fight onto like a big doofus. But the Great Unclean Ones in I think people also forget that Great Unclean Ones outside of Demonic Incursion are like literally twice as easy to kill as they are in Demonic Incursion. So like he scouts up in the middle, and then you're like, I guess I'll shoot him with a bunch of stuff. And he's really hard to kill, right? And he's like bodyguard T13. But like just a bunch of random attacks will eventually get rid of him. Yeah, it'll just die. Yeah, for sure. Like Space Marines will just like rinse that dude. Like an intercessor squad like hands 8 damage to him. Like I don't like what are you gonna do? Like you're just gonna fucking explode. Yeah, so I don't know. Chant. I think it's good. Like it's definitely not bad for sure. But I think people are putting a lot of like they're buying into the meme a little bit too hard. I think the things like the scouting plague bearers that like will lock objectives and stuff is actually really scary. What are you talking about, Kat? You're so loud. Yeah, the Daka detachment's gonna just like annihilate it. The benefit that demons have in that matchup is that Bellicor's aura, they have a tough time getting around Bellicor's aura because orcs are really easy to boot block. So you can just like force Nurglings down their throat and prevent them from getting in range to shoot inside Bellicor's bubble. And then they're like, especially with the new updates, chaff clearing is really fast and really like is and strong in melee. So like in Shadow Legion, like a unit of Fleshhounds will run up and just like kill half of a Luda squad and then like engage the rest of them. And they're like move 12, advance and charge. Like they basically can't be shot from outside threat range essentially. So I think that there is quite a bit that demons can do in that matchup. But if the Ludas get the line of sight to a grid and clean one, it's just vaporized. It just disappears. They're like, hey, I'm winning on 5s again. I'm going to roll this like 40 times. So here's a trillion saves. Got one game in, loved it. It forces interaction from the opponent straight away with Obsec. With Plagueberry in it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're also like pretty cheap too, right? I like the idea of those guys. And then forcing your opponent forward is good for the Bloodthirster too, right? Because basically all you want to be doing is getting value out of that guy every turn. So if your opponent's like, I have to run Space Marines into you, you're like, he's about to kill you. Boink. He'll boop you. Prepare to be booped. All right, chats. I think that's all the armies I wanted to talk about today. So we'll probably wrap things up over here. And you have lone operative blast cannons, yeah. Although not many people are playing the lone operative blast cannons, which surprises me, but I do understand it because like they're highly inconsistent, right? It's like, you know, you're rolling 3s into 3s with no rerolls, and then like they're saving on 4s or 5s, and then you have no damage fixing. So like you average like 3 damage into stuff, but you get to do it for free essentially because they can't shoot you back. So I don't know. Maybe it's fine. So I think that I'm going to be live over on Twitch in a bit. So thanks everyone for hanging out with me today over here, but I'm going to go play a game. I don't know what I'm going to play yet. It could be Shadow Legion, but I also kind of want to play Emperor's Children. So that might be what happens. So we'll see. What's up? I don't know yet. It's a tech choice depending on the matchup. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Have I built my Orc Walker list? I have not. I have not yet. No time. You want me to play Shadow Legion? Maybe we'll poll. I'll go live on Twitch and we'll poll. How's that, chat? I'm probably gonna play something serious though, because we're doing team practice right now for our team event that we're in. That we're definitely not gonna get steamrolled on immediately. Don't fall to Slanesh. Emperor's Children's so like punchy though. It's like cool. And also, I want to do a getting started in Emperor's Children, and with like 2 games under my belt, I don't feel like I'm qualified to talk about them yet. I want to probably play through a pod at least before I feel like I know what's going on. Anyway, chat, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks for hanging out. Let's go ahead and outro us out, folks. But I'll see you over on Twitch if you want to come hang out with me over there. Twitch.tv/TacticalTortoise TV. Thanks, everyone. Keep it classy, folks. Have happy wargaming, and I'll see you in a bit.